Hey guys, Broxy here with the 2025 CRF450R. Today is going to be a good day. Not only do I finally get to ride this bike, but I'm doing it here at Tokoroa. I think this track has a little bit of everything, from big nasty braking bumps to sharp short acceleration bumps, great jumps, everything that you're going to need to give this bike a real rundown. First up, I want to talk about this motor. The HRC engineers wanted to help make this power more controllable. They started with a header pipe that's a bit longer to help with the low end power. They redesigned the airbox to provide a straighter pathway for the airflow, helping with throttle control and to increase that top end power. And then they combined this with new ECU settings because after all the power in the world won't help you if you can't control it. These changes to the engine have been designed to go along with the changes to the chassis. They've stiffened it up, you can see where they've beefed it up, and the subframe mounting points have changed as well. There's a new one-piece linkage helping to improve that rigidity and the way that the back wheel tracks on the ground. The shock has been updated with the new spring reservoir and shaft to help provide a consistent stroke. And then rigidity has been improved up front with a new steering stem, triple clamp, outer fork tubes and front axle. And there's been some changes to the front brake with an updated piston and seal grooves to help provide consistent feel throughout the whole motor. And of course, the most obvious change is to the bodywork. What I like the most about it is the increase in the contact patch for your legs, combined with an even flare on the side guards. I reckon that's enough talking. I'm going to get out there and see how it works. Well, that was a fun day at the office, and I can tell you that the 2025 450R was everything it was cracked up to be. This track here in Tokoroa is brutal. These bumps can be sharp and uneven. The bike takes the hit and then settles again, and my body doesn't even get affected. I especially noticed that when I actually engaged that torque control. The spikes in the power delivery, it all just smoothened everything out. And so that's all down to chassis, the stiffness and the suspension. And I feel like the way that it's balanced and settled coming into the corners is helping more entry speed. It's helping me to start leaning earlier, start leaning more, and then use that power to be able to come out of the corner faster as well. And then when it comes to those bigger hits, like the hard landings, you know, this bike was straight out of the box standard. I didn't adjust anything and it still handled those big hits well. I might have bottomed it out here and there, but I never noticed it doing anything that scared me or made the bike handle badly. The power was really friendly and yet there when you wanted it. You know, if you wanted to be a bit more aggressive, then you could be. But if you wanted to have confidence coming out of the corner, getting on the power early, then you could, because it was such a mellow delivery at first, which wound into something greater when you wanted it to be. I've been looking forward to trying out these ergonomics, you know, that contact patch, that thicker feeling through the middle of the bike. And I think I've used up every millimeter of plastic on the side here, you know, for when you're hitting those big bumps and you need to squeeze. I tried out the start, and something that I didn't mention earlier was about the clutch. We did about 10 starts in a row, and I didn't notice any fade, but also I didn't notice any changes. You know, like it was the same every time. Another thing about the starts was that start select option that you have, where you've got 3 different modes. I tried it without, but man, with the horsepower on this bike, I just could not keep the front wheel on the ground with the grip that we had out here today. So I tried it on setting 1, I tried it on setting 2, and I tried on setting 3. I really like number 2. Again, I just felt like it was a good balance. As for the front brake, you know, like we rode all day. It had plenty of power and I didn't feel like it was going to fade at any point. I feel like I could sum this whole bike up just on one little section out the back of this track. The corner out the very back, it's got some big braking bumps coming into it, and that's a real test of how the bike will settle and handle those bumps, and it just floated through those. Then you get into a skatey berm, and so that's where the power delivery is so important, and you know, being able to just carefully get on it when you need to. But then having the top end power for once you're straight and you get back into the grip to be able to launch, and I've never done it in the past, but there's a double single. And today I came out of that corner, and even with the odd big bump there, I could just drive through that and off the top of this lip and clear this triple, which I've never even considered doing before. I really put a big part of that down to the confidence that I could have on this bike. And I really feel like it's going to make a great match for New Zealand tracks. So if you want to have as much fun as I've had today, you better head down to your local Honda dealer and see one for yourself.